Let's go to Ross in Maryland, the great WMEL. Ross disagrees with me. Uh-oh.
Hey, Mark. Yeah, my disagreement is just I don't think you understand how science works. And what I mean by that is that one of the core pillars of science is falsifiability. By which I mean
what?
that
I didn't hear you.
Is falsifiability. In other words,
falsifiability. All right. Yes.
Yeah.
How does that work?
If you present a piece of independently verifiable information, like a data set, anything at all that pokes a hole in a scientific theory, science changes. Denialists still haven't provided that. So with that in mind, Mark, what evidence would change your mind? Like my mind would be changed.
I love this argument. So now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Ross, the scientist. What's your background? Who do you deliver pizzas for? Yeah.
I'm sorry? Yeah,
what's your background?
Let's see, I graduated from the United States.
I didn't ask you what you graduated. What do you do?
Now I do construction, actually.
Okay, well, thank you for your scientific knowledge. But let me tell you this, Ross. That's not how it works. It's not up to me to disprove science. If somebody makes a claim and says there's no other arguments whatsoever, stop debating it. And then we have to change all of society as a result of this. We have to shut down coal mines. We have to change our engines. We have to change our toasters and our washers. It's not me who has to say, wait a minute, I have to disprove this. And yet, you know what, Ross? I've got study after study, article after article that challenges this by climatologists, by scientists, by astronauts, by Nobel winners. What do you think of that?
No, that's not true. Name one.
All right, I'm going to name 5 of them for you. And you can hang up, and I'm going to read them to you. It's right there in Liberty and Tyranny, and I've talked about it. I'm going to name several. I love it when they challenge me. Dr. Nerv Sharif. Oh, who's he? Well, I'll tell you who he is. He's a top astrophysicist, associate professor at the Hebrew University. He's considered the top expert on solar activity in the world. And he wrote, like many others, I was personally sure that CO2 is the bad culprit in the story of global warming, but after carefully digging into the evidence, I realized things are a lot more complicated than the story told us by many climate scientists or the stories regurgitated by the media. He said solar activity can explain what took place earlier in the 20th century with a slight heating that occurred. And he also said if the amount of CO2 doubled by 2100, it will not dramatically increase the global temperature. Gee willikers, there's one. You want to hear another one? Let's see, I can pick from, there's so many. Let's see here, one that might I'm turning the page. How about this one? Let's see. Hold on, I'm trying to get the astronaut who's one of these global experts and scientific experts, too. I'm trying to find him. You know what? I'm going to have to find him in the break. Let's take a break. I'll read him. There's several others, but these are 2 good examples. These libs are all arrogant. Have you noticed? Give me some names. The information that rejects and challenges so-called global warming is so voluminous, it takes time to even page through it. Massachusetts Institute of Technology professor Richard Lenzen classified this scientific consensus respecting global warming as unscientific. He said, with respect to science, the assumption behind consensus is science is a source of authority. Rather, it is a particularly effective approach to inquiry and analysis. Skepticism is essential to science. And that's why they keep saying, folks, there's no debate. Stop talking about it. But I was looking for the former astronaut, a top geophysicist, astronautical engineer, Phil Chapman, and he was the first Australian to become a NASA astronaut. And he said, all 4 agencies that track the Earth's temperature, the Hadley Climate Research Unit in Britain, the NASA Goddard Institute for Space Studies in New York, the Christie Group at the University of Alabama, and Remote Sensing Systems, Inc. in California, report that it cooled by 0.7 Celsius in 2007. He said this is the fastest temperature change in the instrumental record, and it puts us back where we were in 1930. If the temperature does not soon recover, we will have to conclude that so-called global warming is dead. Now, I could cite scores of others. And this man who called and those senators on the floor, they can find them on their own, but they don't want to. So the country's going to hell with this massive effort to address a matter that is a lie. Like the lie about DDT and the lie about Alar and other lies. Now, I thought I was done with this, but, We don't seek to change our country. We don't seek to fundamentally transform our nation. We don't seek to nationalize and centralize our industries under government in the name of global warming, under the power of the EPA. We support liberty and free enterprise and individual free will. It's not up to us to explain why they're wrong, although I've spent now 2 hours on it. It's up to them to explain why we should destroy our lifestyle.